Hi there, welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael. Today we are going to be doing a book haul video. I have not done a single one of these this year, pretty much just because I've sort of tried to put a little bit of curbing on spending for books, just because I wasn't reading as fast as I normally did, so it was just kind of like, let's put a stop on it. So I recently was on Facebook Marketplace, and there was a man selling 84 vintage horror sci-fi books. So I immediately jumped on that, and I picked up all 84 books. I went through them. I've got about 20 really, really good ones, which I'm excited to read. A whole slew of ones that are also good, but I'm just going to leave them aside for now. And then probably about 10 that are kind of stinker thriller books. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut to overdub Mike, and he's going to just show you the covers. I'll take some pictures, and then we'll discuss what these books are about and why I'm excited to read them. So just before I get to those books, I have two honorable mentions that I wanted to show you guys here on camera, just because I find them entertaining. So the first one is called Sudden Death by Malcolm Hammer. It's a Chris Ludlow golfing thriller. So this is apparently a caddy who witnesses a murder on the golf course, and then he's investigating the murder. I just thought that was kind of funny because I've never seen a golfing themed murder mystery before. And the other one that's kind of weird and Beyond Xavier. It appears to be some sort of sexy time book written by Larry the Silver Fox. So I don't know if this one's going to be what it's going to be, but it should be fun. But I did open up one passage just briefly, and I'll read to you what I read. Excuse me, I'll take my glasses off because I don't have my reading glasses. Larry had long but beautifully silvered hair and wore gold chains around his neck, and an open-necked, gaudily patterned shirt that fell over his belly like a ruffled curtain. Yeah, so I don't know if this is like sexy time stories or what it is, but Larry strikes again. So we'll see what this is about. Okay, so let's get to the books for real this time. First up, we've got Control by William Goldman. This was published in 1982 at Delacorte Press, or Del Fiction. This one seems to be about people losing control, and as far as I know, it's something to do with mind control and time travel. So this is sort of a sci-fi thriller. I'm very much looking to read this. This will be my first William Goldman book. Kiss of Death by Daniel Rhodes. Her father was a demon, and the Queen of Hell wanted her soul. This one was published in 1990 by Tor Horror, and it is following a woman named Selena Claremont, who appears to be demon-sired and is falling in love, and everyone Selena loves dies. So we're going to see some dramatic, probably romantic horror, which I'm looking forward to seeing. Next up is The Fever by Diane Ho. This was published in 1992 as part of Scholastic's Point Horror series. This one seems to be about a girl named Duffy who has a terrible fever and seems to have witnessed a murder while she was in the hospital. I haven't read too many of the Point Horror books, but they've all been kind of fun. And yeah, this one looks just as fun as the rest. The Killing Gift by Barry Wood. A beautiful woman possessed with a deadly power. I am really excited to read this one. Published in 1975 by Signet Press. This follows a girl with powers similar to Carrie. So some ESP revenge violence is due. So I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. And it's 1975, which is pretty much right in the prime for this kind of horror. Next, we got The Supernatural by John G. Jones. This was published in 1988 by Two Door Publishing Company. This one seems to be about a con man who is sort of globe-trotting around the world doing con jobs, and then weird hallucinations start happening. Only has 2 reviews on Goodreads, and they say it's pretty much fast-paced, something to do with aliens. So I'm not sure what this is going to be about, but it's got some neat step-back cover artwork, and I love books that have those like horror books in the 80s made logo font like it was for a movie. That's probably one of the best things about some of these artwork, and I love the lettering of the horror books. So, but yeah, I'm going to give this one a shot. It looks like it's a thriller, and it should be fun. Next up is The Cleanup by John Skip and Craig Spector, published in 1987 by Bantam Books. This one seems to be about a guy named Billy Rowe, who is a failed musician, a failed lover, and failed friend, who decides to go on some sort of killing spree after he gets some sort of power. So he's cleaning up the dirty streets of a city. This one, I haven't read any of John Skip and Craig Spector's other books, but I believe they're sort of following the line of like sort of the same era as Clive Barker, and they're doing kind of extreme horror. So I'm looking forward to reading this, see what it's like. Let me know if you've read any of these John Skip and Craig Spector books. And if you've read this one, I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Black Dawn by D.A. Stern, published in 2001 by Harper Torch, part of HarperCollins. This is sort of a post-apocalyptic book, or an apocalyptic book, rather. Supposed to be similar to The Stand, about sort of a final showdown between good and evil. So yeah, we're gonna see what this one's about. But yeah, having never read The Stand myself, I don't know if I'll jump into this or if maybe I'll wait to get into The Stand first. But this one does look good. It's based on that premise. This is another one I just wanted to show just because it's got some step back art. This is Save the Last Dance for Me by Judy Miller. So yeah, it's got this cover, and then the step back art actually folds away to reveal a ballerina with a skeleton, which is very nice. I wish they could do something with the hand differently, just to sort of change it, but that's part of the art, I guess. It's part of the step back. So that's a really nice one, the step back art. So I was checking all these books out on Goodreads in preparation for this video, and I found this review of this next book. So I'll go ahead and pause it so you can get a chance to read this. This next book is Voice of the Blood by Jemiah Jefferson, published in 2001 by Leisure Horror. So yeah, that review says something about it, but most of the reviews were very positive, saying this was sort of a in between Lost Souls and by Poppy C. Bright, so sort of an erotic vampire novel. So I do look forward to reading this because anything that's got vampires in it, I do enjoy. I didn't used to enjoy this, but I've been reading a lot of vampire stuff the last couple of years, and it's been a lot of fun. Next up is Deathwalker by R. Patrick Gates, published by Dell as part of their Abyss horror line. Published in 1995. This is a sequel book, but it's following a detective who gets himself into some trouble, following his character named Bill Cage, driven by bad dreams, cocaine, and alcohol, is a cop who is hit bottom with a bang. Okay, so he's a cop, not a detective. But yeah, he's apparently following a serial killer. The Abyss horror line, I've only read about 4 or 5 books from that series, and it has all been fantastic. Really sort of cutting edge horror from 30 years ago. Next up is Perfume by Patrick Suskind, originally published in the German Das Parfum in 1985, but this was published by Pocket Books in 1986. I don't know much about this, but I did see a review on Goodreads by Mother Horror from the Nightworms. Gave it a really good review and said that it was great. So, kind of taking her word on it, I've enjoyed most of the stuff that she's recommended. Let me know if you've read this book. It's supposed to be sort of a classic horror novel, but I've never heard anything about it. I've never heard anybody talk about it, so I'd like to hear some more. Thanks. Next up is J.N. Williamson's book Ghost, published in 1984 by BMI Books. I have not heard anything about this book, but or seen anybody talk about it, but it is written from the point of view of a guy who is a ghost. So I think it probably starts with him being dead and just coming back as a ghost. But I'm not sure what anything else with that. But yeah, this great concept. I like the idea, and I love the artwork. I like the idea of just, a ghost appearing and having to deal with that. So it's told from the first person point of view of a ghost. Beastmaker by James V. Smith Jr., published by Dell Publishing in 1988. I think I actually have another copy of this book because I recognize the artwork, but I don't really know much about it. Looks like it is some sort of giant mutated rats or something from a top secret government experiment. And it's following an ex-Vietnam chopper pilot who must prove his innocence and his sanity. So I don't know how well those things do come together, but it's got this giant rat and it looks, there's a little helicopter on there. So yes, maybe there'll be an action scene with a helicopter. In Silence Sealed by Catherine Patasic, published by Tor Horror in 1988. It seems to be a historical fiction horror story about two Greek sisters who happen to know some of the best poets of the Romantic movement. John Keats, Percy Shelley, and George Gordon, Lord Byron. So it's these poets connected to these sisters, and something horrific happens, I'm sure. The artwork on the cover looks like a pretty nice gravestone. I don't know if it had much to do with the actual story or not. We'll find out. Blood Music by Jesse Pritchard Hunter, published by Ballantine Books in 1993. Their subsidiary Ivy Books. This is following a woman who moves to a small town, and there is a serial killer who listens to classical music on the loose, and sort of her navigating that, and I guess she's getting closer and closer to who the killer could be. This is the second book called Blood Music in my collection now, so and a little bonus, it came with a John Grisham The Client bookmark, so that's another piece of nostalgic history for you. Yeah, I don't know if you've read any John Grisham, but he's pretty good too. And now even more blood. This is In the Blood by Stephen Gresham, published by Pinnacle Books in their horror line in 2001. This is another vampire book. This one's following a clan, like a family of vampires, I believe. So I'm not sure where it's going to go with that, but I do like a family affair. So my blood book collection is growing. Surrogate Child by Andrew Niederman, published by Berkeley Books in 1988. I've never read any other Andrew Niederman's besides the absolutely stellar book Pin, which if you haven't read, I recommend you go read that one immediately. But this one is about a teenage child that commits suicide, and the family gets a new adoptive son who shares some of the similar personality traits of the dead son. So it's going to be pretty creepy. Don't know if it's going to be like V.C. Andrews creepy, because I know Andrew Niederman went on to write Shadow Write for V.C. Andrews for the last 30 years. But this one looks like a lot of fun, and I love that cover. Next up is Headhunter by Michael Slade. that published in 1986 by Onyx Publishing. This book is about a serial killer that is chopping off women's heads, and there's a detective on the search in the sexual underground for this particular killer. I know that Michael Slade is a pen name for a group of lawyers, and this is going to be the second book of Michael Slade's that I've read. The first being Ghoul, which was a phenomenal horror, punk rock, rock and roll serial killer book, which I also highly recommend. I've looked online. It looks like everybody of my friends who have read this Headhunter have loved it, given it 5 stars. So I'm looking forward to jumping into that as soon as possible. The Woman Next Door by T.M. Wright, published by Tor Horror in 1990, originally from 1981 though. This book follows a woman who is wheelchair bound, moving into a new house and feeling kind of isolated until she befriends the woman next door. And there is some sort of dark secret of what this woman has in her attic. Looks like fun. I like the painting on the front of the blood-covered child peeking out from behind the wheelchair. If you've read this one, it's got mostly 3-star reads on Goodreads, which is sort of average for most 80s horror. Not a lot of them get more than that. So it's sort of hit or miss if you like 80s horror. But yeah, if you've read this one, let me know what you think about it. Next up is Dark Winds by Graham Watkins, published in 1989 by Berkeley Books. This one, I don't really know too much about it, other than it is supposed to be erotic and spooky, dark eroticism. Evil has never been so seductive, it says on the cover. So this is the debut book by Graham Watkins. It's apparently part of a series, but we're following a character named Elliot Collins, who's got lusting after some woman, and there's some evil that's sort of following her around. So yeah, we'll see what this one's about. I've never heard anything about it, and I've never read anything by Graham Watkins. And the last book of today is The Season of Passage by Christopher Pike, a well-known YA horror author. This was published by Tor Fiction in 1993. Judging from the cover, I would have said this is some sort of romantic, maybe a vampire story set in the forest. But it turns out it's a science fiction set on Mars, so we'll see what that's about. Maybe that's not a moon in the background, but that's actually Mars. But yeah, Christopher Pike, mainly known for his YA horror, but this is sort of a crossover adult science fiction horror. Never read it. It's got nothing but great reviews, it looks like, on Goodreads, so I'm going to give this one a shot as well. Let me know if you read it. Okay, so that was all the books. Again, those were all the really good ones. I will go through, maybe I'll put it on Instagram, some photos of the other books, just because that's another, 60 books to go through, which is quite a lot. But there was a bunch of film adaptation books. The ones that sort of stepped out at me there was a Seven and Blade. So those are both interesting I've never read those ones, so it'll be good. And I think those are Alan Dean Foster, if I remember correctly. There's a whole bunch of Alan Dean Foster movie books there as well. So okay, that's it for the day. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you've read any of these books, or if you think I should just read Beyond Xavier first and just get it over with. Maybe I'll bring this to work, and this will be my work read for the next little while. So yeah, that's it for the day, and thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys all later. Have a good day. Bye.